So, hi. If you're new here, my name is Gal. I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon, and we're about to do my hair. Woo! Okay, so let me grab my products. I'm going to use primarily Inner Sense today. I shampooed my hair last night and just did a rough dry on my hair, and I like to wear my hair in kind of like a loose curly style. Now I wash my hair once a week, and then I don't really do much to it again until the next time I wash it, which is every Wednesday, which is kind of the first day of my week in the salon. So let me grab all my styling products. There's my last one. When it comes to choosing your styling products, most people are going to have, when it comes to like wavy, curly, tight curly, whatever, most people are going to have 2 styling products at a minimum. Some people are going to be able to have 1 styling product. Some people are going to need more than 2 styling products. But most people, like as a general rule of thumb, are going to have 2 styling products, a base product and a topper, okay? Your base product usually is going to be like frizz control and moisture. Your topper is usually going to be longevity, definition, hold, okay? Again, these are really generic rules of thumb. If you're new here, I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon. My name is Gal. Hello, I'm in Ottawa, Canada. So I'm going to use Serenity Smoothing Cream, which is actually a blowout cream, but it's very, very lightweight. So that's why I use it on my hair instead of a curl cream. And it's going to help me with frizz control and moisture and a little bit of thermal protection. And then as my topper, I'm going to use basically I Create Definition, but I'm also going to use a little bit of mousse. I Create Definition is a very, very strong hold foam instead of a gel. It's lighter weight and actually stronger hold too. So those are my 2 main products. I'm going to use more products than that because I bought this like a thing of travel pack sizes from Inner Sense at Christmas time. So I'm going to use more products than that because I have all these products. But that for a lot of people would be sufficient. Usually you need a base product and a topper product. Okay, so before I go in with my base product, which is that Serenity Smoothing Cream, I'm going to go in with the Hair Love Prep Spray for some extra thermal protection on my hair. I recommend you actually bring these styling products right into the shower with you, and as soon as you rinse out your conditioner, immediately start applying your styling products to soaking wet hair. Obviously I can't bring you in the shower with me, that would be a different type of life. So I just re-wet my hair right away before I start applying my styling products. So that everything is soaking wet. I don't rinse out any water, I don't scrunch out any water. And the Hair Love Prep Spray is my main heat protection. And it's also kind of like a little bit of a leave-in conditioner. Now, I also tried a little bit of a new leave-in treatment this week that's supposed to be like a porosity evener. So I'm not sure how my hair is going to refresh this week because it has silicones in it. And I do find when I use silicones in my hair doesn't refresh as well because it doesn't absorb hydration later in the week as well. Because that's what, if you don't know why people avoid silicones when they have curly hair, it's because it builds up on your hair. Not all silicones, there are water-soluble silicones out there. But generally, some silicones can build up on your hair and they can be hydrophobic, okay? So they can make it so that your hair doesn't release water anymore and can't absorb water anymore unless you use like a clarifying shampoo or something. So because of that, when you use really breathable products, then when you go to refresh your hair, you can still get water passed to those products. Okay, now I'm going in with my Serenity smoothing cream. I like to be pretty like generous enough with the smoothing cream, and I actually like to start applying it at my coarsest section, and then I go from the middle of my strands to the end of my strands. Okay, but I really start with this coarse section at the back of my head. You'll get to know your own hair. I have such curly hair, never looked so good. Oh, I'm so glad you're having success with your hair. But yeah, so anyways, I did this like leave-in treatment on my hair that is supposed to help even out my porosity, because my hair has been very high porosity lately, or higher than I'm used to it being. It's struggling, and when I say that, what I mean is it's struggling to retain moisture when I'm doing the rake and shake method, stuff like that. So I thought I would try this like blonding leave-in treatment, because usually hair that has just been lifted, that has just gone blonde, is very high porosity. So I'm like, well, I'll try this leave-in treatment that was just gifted to me. But of course it has silicones in it. So that was my long story about why I used a treatment with silicones in my hair. We're gonna see if it affects my ability to refresh my hair this week. My expectation is that it will, but it may also make my hair increase my hair's ability to retain moisture during this styling today. That's my hope. Okay, so we've got our Serenity smoothing cream in my hair. Now I'm going in with my I Create definition. I'm pretty generous with the I Create definition. If you've ever used this, so the Serenity smoothing cream controls frizz, adds a little bit of moisture to your hair, adds thermal protection. That's my base product. You can use a curl cream. Some people use a leave-in conditioner. Not everybody needs a leave-in conditioner. Not everybody does. Like if your conditioner is doing its job, if you're doing deep treatments, hair masks once a month, you might not need a leave-in conditioner. I don't need a leave-in conditioner on my hair. The only reason I use Hair Love Prep Spray, it's not because I need a leave-in conditioner. It's just because I want an extra little bit of heat protection on my hair. So this one is very milky, like it's very watery. So that's why I choose it. So don't grab a leave-in conditioner just because you think you need leave-in conditioner, okay? Serenity smoothing cream I used, now I'm using the Innersense I Create Definition Styling Foam, super, super strong hold. When you're using it, you need to make sure your hair is soaking wet usually if you want to be able to manipulate the hair, like do the rake and shake method, something like that, after you use this product. If you're just scrunching it into your hair, you can do it on damp hair. But if you want to be able to rake and shake after you use this product, the hair needs to be super, super wet, okay? So now I'm going to put in, I think about 8 pumps of this product. 1, 2. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 pumps through on this side. 1, 2. 2 pumps through on this side. I'm trying to get faster at applying my products because I take way too long to apply my products. 1, 2, directly through this back section. So now we're at 6 pumps. When you're applying your products, really you want to make sure you don't plop it all right on top of your head. You want to make sure the product is concentrated from the middle to the ends of your strands, okay? That's where you need the most product. Okay, and now I'm going to take 2 pumps and I'm going to concentrate it at the nape of my neck. Okay, product applied. Is it evenly distributed? We're gonna find out once my hair is fully styled. But that was 8 pumps. Feels pretty good actually. Okay, now I definitely can feel already that my hair is not wet enough anymore, which is wild. You guys, I don't know if you saw, but I literally poured like my head under the faucet before I started applying products. But that's how wet I want my hair to be while I'm working with it. So if I go like this, I'm getting a little bit of a squish, but I know if I start doing the rake and shake with my hair like this, it's going to be stringy. You want your hair to be like seaweed wet when you're working with it. I think I'm going to apply my last product, which is my mousse, before I add water, just so that I don't like keep adding water and rinse out product. I'm just going to add water one time. I was adding an ATV, like new leather to an ATV seat yesterday, so my hands are like cramping up. Even like taking mousse out of this mousse bottle. So my last product is the Vital Curl Soft Defining Mousse. So the reason I add this product is because my hair naturally kind of struggles to clump. So if you have hair that's like that struggles to clump, the I Create Definition Foam on its own might need a friend. Let's put it that way. Gel is really great because of the consistency. It's a thicker, heavier consistency than foam, than the I Create Definition Foam. So that like a gel is going to help the hair to clump a little bit, right? I Create Definition on its own, on most hair types, in my experience, is not going to help hair clump. Now, you might be able to just pair it with the right curl cream, the I Create Definition Foam, and on some hair types, the hair will clump no problem. On my hair, because my hair doesn't naturally absorb moisture super well, like it doesn't retain moisture super well, I find I need to layer a mousse on top of that foam for my hair to clump. So that's why I use the Vital Curl Mousse in addition to the I Create Definition Foam. It's still lightweight. I like really lightweight products on my hair, but it allows me to use the I Create Definition Foam and still get some clumping power. Like, you can see how I need more water because it's stringy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you literally how I get more water in here. Okay, my very tidy kitchen counter. Since I don't have a faucet, you can't really see, but I don't have a faucet here on a shower head, so I'm literally taking a cup. So if your shower, all of this you would do in your shower, by the way. If you don't have a shower head that's on a hose, bring a cup in to the shower with you. And just, woo, it's very cold water. There you go. That was maybe a little bit more water than I needed to add. Whoopsies. Okay, you don't need to add quite that much water. That was probably more water than I needed to add. Well, it's very wet now. I probably could have added half that amount of water, but I didn't see what I was doing. Anyways, the idea is you do want it to be this wet though. But now it's dripping more than I want. Here, I'm going to add a little bit more mousse. And I added mousse and 1 pump of foam, and I'm just going to mix them together and just rake that through my hair. As a little top up. Okay. there we go. Let's get started. What's the difference between mousse and foam? That is a great question. So mousse is like a whipped cream consistency, and foam is going to be more like bubbles. Mousse comes in an aerosol container and foam does not. Foam comes in a pump top. Okay, awesome. There we go. Teresa says, for a long time, I really didn't get how wet it needed to be. Yeah, totally. Okay, so I added a little bit more water than I needed to, but honestly, it's just gonna make the hair easier to style now. So let's go through to the next step. And let's get started. So now, just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to just put a towel around my shoulders. You can put at this point you would get out of the shower, okay? So this is the first time you've added your product to your hair, you have re-wet your hair after applying your products. Everyone needs to add more water after applying your products. Everybody, you all need to do it. I guarantee you need to add more water after applying your products, okay? After you do that, get out of the shower, rinse product off your body if you need to, especially if it really bugs you, if that's a pet peeve. And then put on a bathrobe or something, and you're gonna start doing the rake and shake. This technique, guys, is going to add longevity to your style. It's going to control frizz. It is going to create larger curl clumps so your hair is not stringy. Do you need to do this? Of course not. If you're somebody who has to wet your hair every single day, like maybe you work in a professional kitchen and your hair like just gets full of really like odors and stuff from the kitchen, and you're like, nah gal, like I have to wet my hair every single day. Maybe you're a professional athlete and you sweat, like you head sweat, you can feel me? So you just have to wet your hair every single day. Like, are there exceptions to people doing the rake and shake method? In my opinion, absolutely. But if you're a loose curly girl, if you're a wavy girl who comes into my salon, a lot of the time I'm going to teach you this technique because it will save you time throughout the week. If you master this technique and you're somebody who can wash your hair every 5 days, which, believe it or not, is a large percentage of my clients. Even if you don't wash your hair every 5 days right now. But if you don't wash your hair every 5 days right now, and you're not currently clarifying your hair every 4 shampoos, I would say, and you're not currently using a good quality shampoo and conditioner, I would say there probably is the potential for you to reduce the amount that you shampoo your hair. Especially if you're having scalp issues or something like that. Like, there's stuff that we can do to work you towards reducing the frequency with which you wash your hair. Most wavy and curly girls, are there exceptions? Of course, there's always exceptions. But most wavy and curly girls, max twice a week, and a lot of wavy and curly girls can wash their hair once a week. So when I teach this technique in the salon, it's with the aim of doing this once or twice a week so that your refreshes on the days in between are very minimal. I'm teaching this technique intentionally so that your refreshes in between are almost non-existent. Or are very easy. So I can teach you, the bowl method. I can teach you just like to scrunch and style your hair in between. And you may work towards that, especially as your hair it depends what your tolerance for frizz is, really. Like, if you like really big hair with a little bit of frizz, you may actually find that you don't necessarily need the rake and shake method. I like to teach the rake and shake method specifically if you have a very low tolerance for frizz. But I should give the caveat, if you have a high tolerance for frizz with your hair, you may not need something like the rake and shake method. You may still like it, and you may just do it a lot faster on your hair. Or you may just do the rake and shake method on the top layer of your hair or on certain sections of your hair just to add a little bit of definition. But the purpose of the rake and shake method is to control frizz. So if you have a really high tolerance for frizz on your hair, you may not need the rake and shake method. And there are some loose wavies that the rake and shake method may have only a very subtle difference on their hair, for sure. But for the rest of you, it makes a big difference. Okay, so you can see, guys, I'm literally running my faucet on a very low drizzle. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm adding water as I go. And brushing through with a Denman brush to smooth that wet frizz. Okay, now, I have a tendency as I go to take sections that are too tall, and it ends up making my hair get stringy at the back. So, I'm going to try and make sure my sections are not vertically too large or horizontally too large, despite me not being able to see what I'm doing. And then I take a section, I rake through with my fingers, and then I drop it. Then I move to the next section. So this is how I do the back of my head. I'm really just going by feel. I'm taking just the next section that I want to work with down. I'm using all one clip. Taking water again, working through with my hand, brushing it straight out from where it grows on my head. I don't want the section to be wider than my knuckle, so I'll drop away anything that's wider than my knuckle. Then I'll rake my fingers through, give it a little skipping rope motion, just to wake the curl up, and then I go to the next section. And you kind of want this section to be flat as you're working around the head. So if it starts to go around the curve of the head, it's probably too wide or too tall. And this is where I always take the most time, right here at the back of my head, because I do find that the back of my head here is where it tends to get the stringiness. So this is where I slow down the most, is right at the back of my head. I also have like some crowns right here at the back of my head. Okay, so I take my Denman brush, I'm brushing through on soaking wet hair, take my fingers, I use the other hand here to pinch it right at the base. As I rake through, I release, then I do a little skipping rope motion just to revive the curl, and then I just drop it. Move to the next section. And you can feel like I'm really not making the sections too perfect or anything. I'm just kind of keep on trucking, and I don't even really check my work. I don't know. I just keep rolling. If you want, you can get kind of to the halfway point, and You can feel with each section, I'm putting my hand under a faucet and I'm adding more water to make sure that it's fully saturated. So I'm brushing with a dummy brush to smooth that wet frizz and clump the hair. I'm raking my fingers through. I'm using the other hand to keep it nice and tight so it doesn't get stringy. Then I'm doing the kind of a quick skipping rope motion just to wake up the curl, just a small motion. We're gonna scrunch the hair later, so it doesn't have to be big motions. It's just enough so that it's not pulled straight anymore. Just a 1, 2, that's it, okay? Okay, now once I get to about there, I usually like to just double check to make sure there's nothing like really wonky. And at this point, if you have been, a lot of the time when someone's a beginner, they will have a tendency to rake and shake forward. So it's really important that you rake and shake directly out from where the hair grows. So if I'm rake and shaking at the back of my head, I want to rake and shake directly back. If I'm rake and shaking at the side of my head, I want to go directly out. When you first get started, you are going to want to take hair from the back of your head and pull it forward. It's just a tendency that people have. And so if you do that, you're gonna have this part all along the back of your head. And when you check the back, you're gonna see all of the hair being styled forward. And you're gonna notice that once you double check, okay? So just grab a mirror, look back. And you can see I kind of did it with this piece right here. I don't know if you can tell how it's kind of styled that way. YouTube, I don't know if you can see. That piece right there is like kind of styled that way. Anyways, it's just one piece. I'm not super stressed about it, but it was a good example of it. So you always want to style the hair perpendicular out from where the hair grows. So anyways, I'm just going to keep rolling. It's just one curl. It's not going to make a big difference. But if you do that with all of your hair, it will start to get wonky. Okay. Okay, I can definitely see I need to hurry up. I took too long to explain that because I can feel the hair is starting to dry. Okay, and then one more back section, and then I think I'm going to switch to doing kind of side to side. Now, if you like to have a defined part, you're going to rake and shake the hair, like you're going to give your hair the defined part during this phase in the rake and shake. So here I'm kind of pinching it as I go up, and then I'm going to rake and shake it as it falls down. And you can see I'm kind of rake and shaking it kind of into an upward motion to encourage that lift at the root. I need to tighten the straps on my tank top. Okay. So if I want a defined part, I can give it a defined part and kind of style everything from side to side. So I will do that. And I'm going to start taking these pieces and letting them fall here. So I'm pinching it, giving it a little shake. I definitely think actually that treatment is helping my hair to absorb moisture a little bit better. It was the Blonde Savior Mask by Kuhn, I think. But again, it's not silicone free, so I know a lot of my curly folks aren't going to want to use it. But it is helping my, what I would actually recommend over that as a silicone free option is the Eco Slay. If your hair is high porosity and really struggles to retain moisture, I love the Eco Slay, what's it called? This one. Ginger Moringa Tea Rinse. Just don't get it on your skin. Just put it on your hair. It's Ginger Moringa Tea Rinse. And just use that periodically, and it will definitely help your hair to absorb moisture and retain that moisture a lot better. And that's a good silicone-free option. But what you want to do is put it in a spray bottle. Yeah, so all of the product is already in my hair. I put in a couple of products. I put in like a heat protection, and then I put in a blowout cream, which I used instead of a curl cream, and then I put in my styling foam and mousse. So basically consider that the equivalent of a curl cream and a gel. I just chose a different combination of products. If you're new here, guys, my name is Gal. I'm a hairstylist. I work in a curly hair salon. So the technique that I'm showing you right now is called the rake and shake method. So I style my hair once a week, and the idea behind doing the rake and shake method is it's a heck of a lot faster than some of like the finger curling techniques you've probably seen online, but it gives you a more natural result. It kind of leans into your natural curl pattern a lot more, but it still is going to give you a lot of definition and longevity and frizz control. So I do this technique once a week, and in my hair, basically I don't really need to do it again for like 3 days. And when I do refresh it, I don't fully re-wet my hair or anything like that. I just do these really simple refreshes. And when I say refresh, typically that doesn't involve fully re-wetting my hair. I've got lots of refresh videos on my channel that you guys can check out if you're interested. Usually they're just labeled refresh. So I rake my fingers through like this. I'm going to pinch it at the root just to make sure it doesn't get stringy. I give it a little skipping rope motion just to reactivate the curl, and then I drop it and I move to the next section. Okay, I have like a lot of hair, so it takes me a little while to do the rake and shake method. On most of my clients, it's going to take them about 10 minutes in the morning to do the rake and shake method on the day that they wash their hair, which is, I recommend being once or twice a week, depending on your hair. So I have a in case you missed it, I have a faucet running right beside me to be able to keep my hair saturated during the styling process, okay? That is the key to this working. You can't do this on damp hair. You can't even do this on very wet hair. The hair needs to be saturated, like soaking wet. Otherwise, the hair is just gonna like fall limp, fall straight, be stringy. It's not gonna do what you want it to do. And you want the styling product to already be in your hair. Okay, so I use a brush first. I'm using a demo brush to smooth all the wet frizz, and then I just give it a little shake. So, one second, I'm gonna separate out this bottom section. There we go. Now, you'll notice I haven't scrunched my hair once during this process. You can scrunch as you go. Some people prefer to do that. It depends on the hair. If the hair gets frizzy really easily, perfect timing, sitting here with hair in a dried cast from washing it last night. Oh yeah. So what was I just saying? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, totally lost my train of thought. Anyways, so yeah, the products I have in my hair are the Serenity Smoothing Cream, which is like a blowout cream from Inner Sense, that has thermal protection, moisture, frizz control, all that fun stuff. It's super lightweight, so I love it, even though it's kind of meant for straight hair, but I use it instead of a curl cream on my hair. Other than that, I also use the I Create Definition foam, which technically is a foam, but if you've ever used foam, foam is usually really soft hold and it like helps create volume. This is called I Create Definition. It's more like a gel when it comes to hold, but the consistency is still a foam. So it is a very strong hold product. It's very unique. Depending on how much hair you have, you might only need 1 pump of this stuff. So if you've ever tried this product and said, oh my God, I don't like this product, I can't break the cast, it's so crunchy in my hair, it's because you use too much of it. It makes a very strong cast. You might only need 1 pump. Some people need to use it as a topper with other products, like I need to use it with a mousse, because on its own I don't get enough clumping. But it's amazing with a mousse for me. Oh my God, I've been doing this whole live without a ring light. Hi. I don't know what's going on with me today. And I love it because it's so strong hold. And so I get fantastic longevity. So I only style my hair once a week, and the I Create Definition really allows me to do that. It's not going to be right for everybody, but it is a very versatile product. So again, I'm almost through my whole head. I take a really long time to style my own hair. I know that, guys. How do you keep your waves without frizz during the week? Well, first of all, I use good quality styling products. Second of all, I do this technique, so I invest on wash day. Like if I did not do the rake and shake method, there's no way I could keep it frizz free for so long, because I'd have a little bit more frizz on wash day. I would have smaller curl clump sizes, and when you have smaller curl clump sizes or like more stringiness throughout your hair, it's those smaller curl clumps or that stringiness is going to turn into frizz sooner, right? So definitely investing in on wash day, using really good quality products that are water soluble, so I can add hydration if I need to throughout the week. I can refresh my hair easily throughout the week. And then absolutely, I sleep with a bonnet or I sleep with a silk cap throughout the week, so I'm protecting my hair overnight throughout the week. So I'd say those are like the main things. The other thing is, if your hair is not healthy, the other thing is, in my opinion, shorter hair is easier than longer hair. Freshly cut hair is easier than hair that has not been cut for a really long time. Like I am due for a haircut right now. If you're getting your hair cut every 3 to 4 months, your hair is gonna be so much easier to style. Like I have not had my hair cut in probably 3 or 4 months, and I probably won't get 6 days out of my hair this week. Fresh after a haircut for the first 2 months, no problem, I can get 6 days. It's truth, okay? Wintry breeze. That's so interesting. I feel so bad for curly hair girls. Seems like so much work and such a chore. So that it's interesting that you say that. I mean, I don't feel bad for myself, but like when again, like you might just have straight hair. But as a curly hair girl, when I used to straighten it, like I got a blowout last week. I went to my friend's salon and got a blowout. Which I don't do often, but it was very fun. And it was so much work for me to wear my hair straight all week because, you know, you sweat at night. Around my nape it gets curly. You know what I mean? But okay, so wintry. I would say, if you're trying to learn tips like that for your daughter, never say stuff like that, ever, especially in front of your daughter. Saying stuff like that, I know you probably don't mean badly, but saying stuff like that is is not stuff you want your daughter to absorb. I'm sure you probably will. I hope you wouldn't say stuff like that in front of your daughter. But it's not helpful rhetoric. Yeah. Because it doesn't have to be a lot of work. Like I do my hair like this once a week. To me, that's not a lot of work. I invest in my hair once a week. It's 5 minutes in the morning other than that. And saying stuff like that kind of creates this narrative for girls with curly hair that our hair is a burden, our hair is a chore. And it's even worse for girls who have really curly hair. And so many young women grow up to resent their hair because of rhetoric like that. So just be very careful to anyone in this live who, especially women with children with curly hair, you want to be very careful how you talk about curls in front of your kids, about it being a lot of work. And to anyone in this live who ever talks about curls being a lot of work in general, about their own hair, you want to, we control our thoughts, and our thoughts become our reality. So if you don't want your curls to be a lot of work, they don't have to be. You decide what your tolerance is for your own hair. So if you're okay accepting your hair in a more natural state, your hair will be less work, right? The reason I teach the rake and shake method in my salon is because a lot of the folks who come into my salon have a very low tolerance for frizz. And so that's one of the reasons I teach this technique in my salon, is I'm helping folks kind of get those baby steps to learn to embrace their hair when maybe they've been really frustrated, feeling out of control, feeling like they aren't in control of their hair. So the rake and shake method is one of those tools to help them take that power back with their hair. But you absolutely don't have to do the rake and shake method. You can just scrunch your hair, air dry, and your hair is absolutely gorgeous. You don't have to do any of this. But if you feel like you have lost control of your hair and you just want to take that power back, the rake and shake is one of those techniques that can help you do that. And it's sometimes learning how to take control back can be a really powerful step. And then once you learn to take that control back, you can start to loosen the reins a little bit, and you can start to learn to embrace a little bit more frizz. And once your eyes start to adjust to seeing your hair in a curly state, often our frizz tolerance starts to go up. Once you start wearing your hair curly more often, all of a sudden after a few weeks or a few months of feeling like you have to have it perfect, you'll notice, oh, actually, I don't mind it, Yeah, I don't mind it with a little bit more frizz. I've now been wearing my hair curly or wavy curly, however you describe my hair, now since I was, for about 4 or 5 years. And I find now, my tolerance for, how it looks when it's wavy curly is, I'm really much more tolerant, unless I'm in the salon, than I ever was when I first, my hair used to have to be perfect for me to leave the house with it in spirals, and now my tolerance is much higher. Do you think curl training is actually a thing? No, not really. You're getting your hair healthier is a thing. Okay. But curl training, not so much. But certainly, as your hair gets healthier, your curl will enhance. Last night I scrunched with good products and I loved the waves today. It was so quick and easy. I love that, Michelle. I love that. Okay, so. Okay, so if anything I just said resonated with you, well, welcome to my page. Again, my name is Gal. I'm a hairstylist. I work out of Ottawa, Canada. I'm about to now micro plop my hair. Okay, so we just went through and did the rake and shake method to add definition, add longevity out of my style, get larger curl clumps. So I still do the rake and shake method most weeks. even though I have a high tolerance for frizz, the reason I like to do the rake and shake method, even though I do tend to have a high tolerance for frizz, is because I don't want to refresh my hair every day, and it gives me these larger curl clumps. So by getting these larger curl clumps, because my hair is naturally quite frizzy, I don't, like, these larger curl clumps last like 4 or 5 days for me. If I just scrunch my hair and don't rake and shake at all, I'm gonna have stringier curls, and by day 2 even, maybe day 3, probably day 3, I'm gonna already be feeling like my hair is looking a little wilder than I'm comfortable with, and I'm gonna feel like I have to do a wet refresh. Versus with the rake and shake method, I'm not gonna feel that way. My hair is gonna feel like it gets more longevity. Now again, I'm due for a haircut. If you stay on top of those haircuts, especially if you have a very layered cut, your hair is gonna be much easier to maintain. What am I doing wrong since the curls lose their curl after 2 days? You're not necessarily doing anything wrong, especially if you have very fine hair. It could be the products that you're using, or it could just be that you need to scrunch a little foam in on day 2. It could just be that you need a very easy refresh at day 2 or day 3. Or it could be that you need different products. Could be that you need a stronger hold product. Some people have a very loose curl pattern that no matter what product in the world, you're gonna lose curl after 2 days. So it's not necessarily that you're doing something wrong. You might just need to refresh after 2 days. Refresh doesn't always involve water. Sometimes it's just using like the Diva Curl volumizing foam, frizz-free volumizing foam, scrunching in a little bit of foam. That takes 5 seconds to diffuse then, because it dries really, really quick. So that would be a 5-minute refresh on day 2, okay? Or two days, so that would be day 3, okay? Or it could be your hair needs protein, if that's unusual for you. Or it could be that you're just using curl cream and you need a gel or like something that has hold. Or it could be that the gel you're using is just a medium hold and you need a strong hold. So it could be any of those things, okay? Wanted to share that I figured out your routine works really good for me, except, okay, I'm just gonna micro plop my hair, guys, because we haven't done anything to encourage the curl yet. So I'm flipping my hair upside down, removing the excess water, and just encouraging that curl. Now you can over scrunch your hair. It is definitely possible to over scrunch your hair. So be mindful. If your hair is, like, if you have some silver in there, or a mix of like low porosity and thicker hair strands and stuff, and your hair just like you look at it the wrong way after the rake and shake method and it gets super frizzy, then you might just scrunch with your hands to remove excess water. Except I plop after applying products for an hour or 2, then it's basically dry. I just blow dry. Awesome. I'm glad you found something that works for you. For only 5 minutes upside down, and then I'm done. Lasts for 5 days. I love that. Okay, don't over scrunch, gal. I always over scrunch because I forget that I'm also scrunching my hair while I'm talking to you. Okay, the next product I like to use is called I Create Finish. This is a curly hair hairspray. I love this. I like to use it right where I have a tendency to get halo frizz. It gives you a little bit of extra, very lightweight hold. You apply it to wet hair. And it helps like hold everything together before you start diffusing. I love I Create Finish, honestly. It also technically helps hair dry a little bit faster, but I'm not so sure about that. Okay, I love that product. I use it on so many of my clients. And nobody ever buys it because they're not sure exactly what it does, but it just like holds everything together. It's so good. If you can ever try a trial size of it, I highly recommend, because you're gonna see what it does. It's so great. Where is my diffuser? Here it is. I am located in Canada. That was called I Create. Yeah, these products you are using. I got them and they are magic. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed too. They're so good. I love InnerSense. InnerSense, sponsor me. You mind covering up? My kids are watching. Oh, okay. Well, you can go away. I hate when I accidentally read stuff out loud that I don't mean to. Yes, I am in Canada. So the products that I used, one second. I know, I wish. Honestly, my dream is to become an inner, I'm going to speak it into an existence. My dream is to become an InnerSense educator one day. One day. I love InnerSense. So the products that I used today was the InnerSense Serenity Smoothing Cream. Here we go. The Serenity Smoothing Cream by InnerSense, which is the blow-up cream. So it's great for moisture. It has it gives you like a little bit of frizz control. When you use cream products as your base product, it gives you a little bit of frizz control. And then on top of that, under that, I used the Hair Love Prep Spray, and this is really great for thermal protection. Lately, my hair has been getting higher porosity, so I just wanted, even though there is thermal protection in their blowout cream, I wanted to add some extra thermal protection. This is very lightweight, it's very watery, it's a spray. So I put this under, I'm not using this as like a leave-in conditioner or anything, I'm using this as like a thermal protection under the Serenity Smoothing Cream, which is, again, the blowout cream that I'm using as a curl cream. Okay? And again, the reason I use the Serenity Smoothing Cream is specifically because it's so lightweight, and a lot of curl creams are too heavy for my hair. Okay? For a lot of wavies, unless you have very thick hair strands, some curl creams might be too heavy for you. Like the Quiet Calm Curl Control by InnerSense. Unless you have thick hair strands or medium hair strands, if you're a fine-haired girly, the Quiet Calm Curl Control is probably going to be a little too heavy for you. So reach for the Serenity Smoothing Cream instead, okay? Then I went in with the I Create Definition Styling Foam. Now, I used 8 pumps of this, but my hair can tolerate 8 pumps of this. I have a lot of hair. It may not look like it, but I have a lot of hair, okay? You might only need 1 pump of this. This is a very strong hold product, so do not be deceived. Yeah, I had to stop curl creams with my fine hair, and my curls are in heaven now. Yeah, be careful with curl creams. Just because you have like wavy or curly hair does not mean you need curl creams. There are lots of lightweight curl creams out there, plenty. They're fantastic, like Living Proof Curl Enhancer. That is a lovely, it's in a pink bottle. It's a very nice, lightweight curl cream. There are fantastic lightweight curl creams that you can use. I'm not saying you can't use curl creams, but I'm just saying there are also lots of, I'm looking at you, Moroccan oil curl cream that everybody seems to want to use. It is very heavy. It is a very heavy, and also, what's the other one? The Lush Curl Power. Guys, this is a very heavy curl cream. I'm not telling you that you're not gonna get great day 1 results, but I bet it's not lasting for you past day 1. I bet your day 2 isn't looking very good, unless your hair can tolerate a heavy curl cream. Okay. So I use like 8 pumps too. My hair gets a great cast and then it scrunches out nicely. I love that. Okay, so that's my little spiel about curl creams. Also, those are not bad curl creams, by the way, the ones that I listed, they're just heavy. So if your hair needs heavy curl creams, that's awesome. And there are lots of people who do need heavy curl creams. So this is not a vendetta against heavy curl creams. They are important. They have a place in the ecosystem. I just happen to know that a lot of my followers have fine hair. And I know that because a lot of my followers come in to see me as clients. And so, okay, So next I go in with the I Create definition. This is a foam that is strong hold. So then I put in 8 pumps of this, but you might only need 1 pump, you might need 2 pumps. You know how much you need because if you put it in your hair and you don't get any stiffness or any cast once your hair is dry, maybe you need a little bit more. If you can't break the cast, if it's too stiff, too crunchy, you use too much. I then go in with a little bit of mousse. You don't need to put in mousse, but if your hair is struggling to clump or if it's like stringy, then either you need more water or maybe you want to mix it with like a gel or a mousse, something like that to give it a little bit more slip, a little bit more stringiness. Now, these products are not going to be right for everybody. These products are right for me. Let me be very clear about that. I'm not generically recommending these products for everybody. These are the right products for me and my hair. How can I fix a bad curl formation without rewashing or adding more product? That is such a great question. So I would first ask yourself what's going on with your hair. Like what do we not like about it? Is there just like a few specific curls that I'm not happy with? If that's the case, I would re-wet that specific curl and maybe finger curl it or something like that. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. Like, can I fix this just by reshaping a few specific curls? Because that's gonna be the fastest way to get you there. And if they're being really stubborn, fully saturate a few specific curls and maybe even just pin curl them. Like roll them around your finger, put a bobby pin in there and just like let it set. Sometimes that's the fastest way to do it. And then you don't necessarily need to rewash, just re-wet your hair. The product's already in your hair. If everything all around is just not good, just re-wet your hair. The product's already in your hair. You don't need to add more product. Just stick your head, like, use a cup of water, fully re-wet your hair, and just restyle. It won't rinse out just using a cup like that won't rinse out the product. How to prevent frizz, the rake and shake method. Hands down. Okay, let's style my hair. Okay, there's 2 main, oh, it's not plugged in. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, there's 2 main styling techniques. The first technique is called hover diffusing. The second technique is called pixie diffusing. If you're not new here, you already know these techniques, by the way, guys. I'm a hairstylist. I work in Ottawa, Canada. If you want to book with me, I have online bookings, so you can go to the link in my bio. And my name is Gal. Hi. So the 2 techniques are called hover diffusing and pixie diffusing. Hover diffusing is the one that's going to create the least amount of frizz. And if you have ever said, I cannot diffuse my hair, every time I diffuse my hair goes wild and it gets all frizzy, blah, 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 start with hover diffusing. Just trust me on this one. Start with hover diffusing. It will not make your hair all wild. The one exception to that would be, look in the mirror before you start diffusing. Do you see how I have almost no wet frizz? Yeah, I work in a salon. I don't own a salon. I work in a salon called Curlology. Curly hair, Curlology. We're a curly hair salon. Do you see how I have almost no wet frizz? If you look in the mirror and you have wet frizz and a bunch of stringiness in your hair before you start diffusing, then yes, diffusing will turn that into dry frizz. But so will air drying. So that is the one thing to consider, okay? However, if you look in the mirror and you have no wet frizz, diffusing with good diffusing technique should not create frizz for you. Now, the other thing I will add is you do need product, leave-in styling product. You can't, so how to get rid of wet frizz, if you just joined, before this live, I will post this live to my Instagram and it'll also be on my YouTube. We went through a technique called the rake and shake method, and that's the best way to get rid of wet frizz. I also, if you just go to my Instagram or my TikTok, I also have a bunch of like little tutorials that show you how to do the rake and shake method if you just want to watch those tutorials after this live. So it's basically a styling technique to get rid of wet frizz. The other thing is you need leave-in styling products when you diffuse your hair. Just deep treatments, just hair masks alone isn't going to be enough to hold the hair together while you're diffusing your hair. You can diffuse hair with no leave-in styling products, but I recommend using leave-in styling products. Okay, so the first technique is going to be hover diffusing. Hover diffusing is literally holding the diffuser 8 to 10 centimeters away from the hair, okay? It creates the least amount of frizz, but it doesn't do anything to encourage the curl. Now, when I say it creates the least amount of frizz, it's because you're not actually touching the hair. You can do it if you have bangs or fringe, and if you like to have a defined part, then it's a good idea to start with hover diffusing upright like this, and to like hover diffuse your bangs and hover diffuse around your part. You can also put root clips in your hair, like along here, so that you get a little bit more lift at the root while you start hover diffusing in an upright position. You can flip your hair upside down and hover diffuse upside down. But I will warn you, your hair, when it's still very wet like this, is extremely fragile. So every time you flip your hair around, it's going to get a little bit more frizzy. Especially if you have long hair, every time you use your hands to pull your hair like over a shoulder or to like touch your hair, you're adding frizz. So just be very mindful as to like how much you're flipping your hair back and forth, you're touching your hair at this point. So I am gonna I want my hair to be really big, and I have no wet frizz right now, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a tolerance for flipping my hair around, just with the trade-off of wanting to create a little bit more volume. So I'm gonna flip my hair upside down. But I'm still hover diffusing right now. So the idea of hover diffusing is you basically want to start to create your gel cast. So the gel cast is that stiffness that you start to get, or like the crunchiness that you start to feel before the hair is 100% dry, and it's created from using products that have holes. So I've used a gel, a mousse, or in this case a foam that is very strong hold. Now I'm not going to walk around with crunchy hair today, but that stiffness is then going to protect my hair from frizz for the rest of the drying process. Okay, so now that I can start to feel, whoops, I don't know what just happened. Now that I can start to feel a little bit of stiffness in my hair, I'm going to start pixie diffusing. So pixie diffusing is where you actually like cup the hair. Now, but I like to hold position. If you cup the hair like this, so this is pixie diffusing. If you cup the hair and then move positions like every 4 seconds, you're going to start to create a lot of frizz. So that's what I see people doing all the time. That's like your traditional diffusing. It's like cut the hair, 1, 2, 3, switch positions, cut the hair, 1, 2, 3, switch positions, cut the hair, 1, 2, 3. And that's what starts to create a lot of frizz and stringiness. So instead I'm going to cut the hair and I'm going to hold the position for like, I'd say 15 seconds. The length of time for which you cut the hair is going to depend on how quickly your hair dries. If your hair takes like an hour to diffuse, you're probably going to hold it in this position for like 20 or 30 seconds. If your hair takes like 6 minutes to diffuse, okay, well then you might only hold it in one position for like 7 seconds. So it's going to depend on how quickly your hair dries. But this is where we actually start encouraging the curl, creating volume. When you're at home, you always have those two levers that you can pull. If after the first time you diffuse your hair, you feel like it ended up too frizzy, too voluminous, too many stringy pieces, it means you didn't cover diffuse for long enough. You should have cover diffused for longer. If you feel like you didn't get as much curl as you would have wanted, or you didn't get as much volume as you would have liked, then you could have pixie diffused for longer. Does that feel hot on your head after 20 seconds? No. I also don't have it pressed like straight on my scalp though. Do you see how I kind of have it angled away? The other thing I was going to say about that, oh yeah, cover diffusing first versus pixie diffusing first. So the Dyson has a cold setting, then like a low heat and a high heat. I have it on the low heat setting. Oh sorry, this is not a Dyson, this is a Lyson. I have a Dyson at the salon. This is the Lyson that I have at home. Should you pixie diffuse first or should you hover diffuse first? So it depends on your hair. If your hair diffuses very quickly, like you can diffuse your entire head of hair in like 10 minutes or less, and your hair is weighed down by water a lot, like I'm talking about very fine-haired girlies, fine-haired people, and that curl just gets weighed down by water and it dries super, super quickly. You might want to pixie diffuse first, because then you're going to encourage that curl so that it's not getting weighed down by the water, because otherwise if you hover diffuse first, it's being weighed down by the water, but then it's drying instantaneously, right? So you might benefit from pixie diffusing first, and then hover diffusing that last little bit of the way to make sure it doesn't get frizzy. Or even pixie diffusing all the way if you really like volume. For pretty much everybody else, in my experience, I hover diffuse first to set the cast, and then I finish with pixie diffusing. That's my preference, but there's no right or wrong answer. You can experiment, you can decide what you like best for your hair, and everybody's hair is unique. There are some people who are going to only have, sorry, I shouldn't say for everybody else. If you have like high type 3 or even type 4 hair, you might only hover diffuse your hair with just like a little bit of pixie diffusing right at the end. Or like some like slightly different techniques where you're just kind of pressing against the hair, like it gets a little different. I'm really talking about my loose curlies and wavies here. But you might prefer to only hover diffuse, you might prefer to only pixie diffuse. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong answers as long as you like the results that you're getting for your hair. My hair takes an hour to diffuse. Any tips to speed it up? Make sure you micro plop first. So make sure you're pressing the product out of your, the water out of your hair with a microfiber towel or a cotton t-shirt before you start diffusing. Just scrunch out the excess water. You can use something like a Diva Fast, I think it's called, which is like an aerosol spray, which can cut down on dry time before you start diffusing your hair. Use a good quality blow dryer and diffuser. It will cut way down on how long it takes you to diffuse your hair, like dramatically. When I switched to the Lyson from my Conair blow dryer, It probably shaved about 10 minutes off of how long it took me to blow dry my hair. If your hair is air dried to a cast, is there a way to break the cast without breaking curls? If your hair is air dried to a cast, breaking curls. What do you mean by breaking curls? Without breaking up the curl clumps, you mean? So, Michelle, so when you break the cast, it's going to bring all the volume back into the hair, like, but, so I'm guessing you don't want volume. I'm guessing that's what you're saying. So, I would just gently scrunch out with a hair oil. Michelle, first of all, make sure when you're breaking your cast, the hair is 100% dry. That would be my first tip. My guess would be, is it possible when you're breaking up the curls, it's a little damp inside the center of the curl clump? Lose the curl that the cast has set. You shouldn't be losing the curl. That's what I don't understand. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. Are you losing definition? Michelle, are you losing definition? Is that what you're saying? Like you're losing all the definition? It sounds to me like the hair isn't 100% dry. Then maybe you're not using the right product. Either your hair is not 100% dry when you're breaking the cast, or you're not using the right product. Also, it would probably really help if you didn't air dry your hair and if you diffused your hair at least part way. Like just spend even like 5 or 10 minutes diffusing your hair and then let it air dry the rest of the way. It would probably make a really big difference because it would encourage your curl a lot more. So if your hair is taking an hour to diffuse, you could try looking at the product. So Shannon, you want your hair to take less time to diffuse. I mean, you could invest in a hood dryer. That would probably cut down on how long it took your hair to dry. Or at least you could multitask. So you could sit under a hood dryer and like start answering emails or whatever at the beginning of your dry time. Other than that, use the Diva Fast. Use something like that to cut down your dry time. Other than that, you can look at the products that you're using. For example, like using something like I Create Definition is going to dry faster than using something like I Create Curl Memory or like a gel that really retains moisture. So looking at the products that you're using, like using a really heavy curl cream is going to take longer to dry. Like looking at the products that you're using. Heavier products are going to take longer than lighter products. Although you have to look at that within the context of what your hair needs, for sure. My hair naturally is only wavy. The scrunch got curls for me I want to keep. Can you get hood dryers for home? I've only seen them in the salon. Yeah, totally. They sell them on Amazon. I've never tried the Amazon ones, but don't spend less though. My salon owner has told me do not bother buying one if your budget is less than $175. If you can afford to spend $175, you can get one. But the ones that are under $175 are garbage, so don't spend less than that. What products did I use and in what order? I used the Hair Love. So I have a little pack of travel sizes, so I used a lot of products. The main products that I use are the Serenity Smoothing Cream, which I used instead of a curl cream. It's like a blowout cream though. And then I use the Eye Create Definition, which is a foam that's very strong hold. And then I use the Vital Curl Mousse. Those are my main products. I meant to put the Eye Create Lift at my roots. I forgot. Yeah, so should I pixie diffuse too? It depends what your goals are and what your hair looks like, but yes, I would say if your goal is to encourage your curl and get volume, then yeah. I would sit under the hood dryer until you start to feel your cast, and then I would pixie diffuse. Now Shannon, before you just buy a hood dryer, send me a picture of your hair. Send me a DM on Instagram, because a hood dryer is not right for everybody. Because a hood dryer is just going to replace cover diffusing. It's not going to encourage your curl. It's not going to give you volume. It's just going to dry your hair, and it's only going to dry your hair to like here, okay? It's not going to dry your hair below here. It's just going to dry up here. So it's not right for everybody, but it is going to dry up here pretty quickly. And you can multitask. So, it's great for some people. And it replaces hover diffusing for those people. So if you're somebody who gets a lot of frizz, and wants to be able to speed up the hover part of the diffusing, it's great. But if you're somebody who barely hover diffuses and has hair down to their butt, it's not necessarily going to speed things up for you as much. So let's have a little chat before you spend $175. I always wonder if mousse or gel is better. It depends on what your hair's needs are. You're welcome. Okay. Bum bum bum. Woohoo. Did I put too much product in my hair today? Yes! I did. I did put too much product in my hair today. I can already tell, but it's very soft. And it's pretty. Woo! Okay, so my final analysis on the Blonde Savior leave-in treatment is it did help my hair retain moisture a little bit better. It was this one. My hair has been struggling to retain moisture, and so I went to this training for this product. It's meant for blondes after you lift their hair. And then they sent me home with a free product, and I was like, my hair's struggling to retain moisture. Maybe I'll try it, even though it's not meant for virgin hair. But the only thing is it's full of silicone. So I'm a little worried that my hair is going to be hard to refresh. But my hair does feel very soft. I hate when my rings get stuck in my hair when I try to shake things out. Oh, I have a little bit of dampness right in my bang. Oh, I usually do I usually finger curl the whole top of my head, and I didn't do that today. How do we like it? I was just thinking, I'm like, it looks kind of different today. What looks different about it? I didn't do that. It looks the same, I think. Let's turn this light out. Turn this light on. Here, I'll bring you into the natural light. Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna stretch. That is worse. That is worse lighting. Okay, so it's very defined today. Because today is day 1, so we always have a little bit less definition on day 1. Or sorry, a little bit more definition, a little bit less volume. But yeah. This goes here. But yeah, looks great. How does the back look? One second, I'm gonna check the back and then I'll be right back. It's okay, the back is a little weird today, but you can tell I'm due for a haircut. I think we're just gonna leave it. It's good enough. I'm gonna show you, the back is a little weird. Like right here, it's a little weird. Right? It's a little weird. I think probably what happened is my sections were not quite thin enough. That's usually what causes it, is I start taking sections that are a little too high and then it gets stringy as it falls down. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So tomorrow when I wake up, I usually don't do anything. I sleep with a silk scarf tonight. I'll just shake it out and have more volume tomorrow. Maybe put in a little bit of, what's it called? Texture spray at my roots so that these will be more voluminous. You can see I'm due for a haircut right now. So I'll put a little bit of texture spray in tomorrow so that this starts to get a little bit more voluminous, and so that as I start to get a little bit more frizz throughout the week, I lean into it and this shape just gets a little bit rounder. Day 3, if I'm starting to feel like I'm having loss of curl, because as my cut gets a little bit more grown out, as these pieces get longer, I start to get more loss of curl than when my cut is fresh. Then I have a couple of options. I could scrunch in a little bit of like a foam, not the I Create Definition foam, but something that's like a soft hold foam. Or I could, with this product, with gels, I can't spray my hair with water because my hair has a tendency to just get frizzy when I do that. But with this product lineup, my hair tends to allow me to just spritz it with water because these products are very, very breathable. So they will just accept that moisture without getting frizzy. Or maybe they'll get like a little bit frizzy, but not the way they will with a lot of other products. I find Inner Sense is really very good about being able to be refreshed with just like 15% water. You don't have to fully resaturate your hair. So day 3, which is Friday, if I think I am having a little bit of loss of curl and I just want, maybe I'm having some wonky curls, maybe I'll spritz it all over with a little bit of water, quickly re-diffuse, and everything will just bounce right back up. Will I have a little bit more frizz than I did today? Yeah, but I have like almost no frizz today. So that little bit more frizz that I have by Friday will just make my hair like rock star hair. Like it'll be way more voluminous. Maybe I'll add texture spray all the way throughout it, and I'll really lean into that rock star lived in look. And day 3 might be my favorite hair that I have all week. So my hair just evolves throughout the week. So anyways, that gives you a sense of basically what my routine is and how it evolves throughout the week. That's why I invest in doing the rake and shake on day 1. Yeah, like I definitely don't fully resaturate my hair throughout the week. I really don't ever spend more than 10 minutes on my hair in the morning again throughout the week. Friday, maybe I'll spend 10 minutes on my hair in the morning. Tomorrow I probably won't do anything in my hair in the morning. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I probably won't do anything to my hair because I'm not in the salon. So however I wake up, my hair will be good enough to go out the door. My tolerance for how my hair looks is like 100%. It'll be good enough. I have really curly hair, but I always straighten it because I can never achieve curls I like. Well, you're in the right place, girl. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you want to go back and watch the beginning of this recording, it's going to be posted to my live on Instagram, or not to my live, you'll be able to watch the recording on Instagram and also on YouTube. You are welcome to check it out there. If you're interested in an appointment and you're in the Ottawa area, or you can get to the Ottawa area, I have online booking. You can check that out at the link in my bio on my link tree. Which you can find on all 3 platforms. Thanks so much for joining me this morning, guys. I go live every single Wednesday morning. Yeah, have a great day. I hope you learned something today. Mwah! Goodbye.